We are cutting across to this breaking piece of information that we have for our viewers, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has put out a tweet, and he has mentioned in that tweet, if the Congress and its rotten ecosystem, I'm quoting from that tweet of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's, if Congress and its rotten ecosystem thinks their malicious lies can hide their misdeeds of several years, especially their insults towards Dr. Ambedkar, they are gravely mistaken. The people of India have seen time and again how one party led by one dynasty has indulged in every possible dirty trick to obliterate the legacy of Dr. Ambedkar and humiliate the SC/ST communities. That's a huge tweet that has been put out, and that too by the Prime Minister of the country. My colleagues Aman and Pallavi continue to be with us. Pallavi, a big development there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi really mincing no words in attacking the Congress party.
And one of the biggest blows, I would say, to the entire narrative which is being pushed in by the Congress party, the Prime Minister himself, no less, the topmost man who heads the government, making one of the most harshest attacks on the Congress party, and also talking about an ecosystem which has scant regard for the legacy and the ideals of Ambedkar. This is all very quickly in the background of what happened yesterday, where the Congress party has latched on to one word of the Home Minister and, thinking that they're going to get a lot of support on this, and that's the reason why there have been big bang protests coming in from the Congress party and many parties of the India bloc. But one thing is very clear, that when it comes to this narrative about Constitution khatre mein hai, or that Ambedkar legacy is being maligned by the BJP, the government, the Prime Minister and the BJP are just not going to accept it. They are making the larger point that the Congress needs to look at the mirror. They are the ones who have a past and a history of taking away the rights of the people. Emergency, for example, is one matter. And the way they are keep on insulting Ambedkar, that's a test case which clearly shows that the opposition has no right to point a finger at the BJP.
Right, and Aman, with the Prime Minister saying it like he has done in this particular tweet, clearly he is launching that offensive against the Congress from the front.
Well, Greha, this tweet by the Prime Minister is a very, very strong tweet. I think in recent times I haven't seen such a strong tweet by the Prime Minister against the Congress party. It makes it very clear that the Prime Minister, the BJP, is extremely angry over what the Congress has done today, what the Prime Minister is calling as theatrics. The Prime Minister, I think, giving his peace of mind to the Congress party, saying Congress has a rotten ecosystem, also saying these are malicious lies. The Prime Minister reminding the Congress party that the list of Congress sins towards Bhimrao Ambedkar, the list is very long. They defeated him not just once but twice in elections. Jawaharlal Nehru campaigned against him. Congress did not give him a Bharat Ratan. Congress even did not deny his portrait a place of pride in the in the Parliament Central Hall for several years. Also saying that in Parliament it was Home Minister Amit Shah who exposed the sins of the Congress towards Bhimrao Ambedkar, and that is why the Congress and its rotten ecosystem, what the Prime Minister has called it, is so rattled that they are now going after Mr. Amit Shah. Also, I think the last tweet that the Prime Minister is saying, it is due to Bhimrao Ambedkar. The Prime Minister says that we are what we are. He's saying the government has worked tirelessly to fulfill the vision of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar in the last decades, be it taking 25 crore people out of poverty, or developing the 5 iconic places associated with Ambedkar. The Prime Minister also said in his constitutional debate address that it was only after the Congress went out of power that Bhimrao Ambedkar could get a Bharat Ratan. The BJP also very, very strongly contesting what the Congress is saying, the slicing and dicing of Amit Shah's words to misinterpret them and see them as an insult to Ambedkar. The Prime Minister saying these are all malicious lies.
Right, and we also have Arunima on the broadcast. Aman and Pallavi, request you to stay on with us. Arunima, even the allies are not standing together in this protest that the Congress party is launching now against the Home Minister, in turn the NDA. And now with this tweet of the Prime Minister's, really things are out there in black and white.
Yes, Trinamool Congress has been unhappy. Pallavi has just reported on that. They have been unhappy with the Congress party on more occasions. They feel that they have been taken for granted, and I think now the Prime Minister's tweet is just rubbing it in. Prime Minister has given, it's a long thread where he has attacked the Congress party. He calls it Congress and its rotten ecosystem. Prime Minister is accusing Congress of spreading malicious lies about their quote-unquote misdeeds about Dr. Ambedkar. Then also it goes on to list how Dr. Ambedkar was allegedly defeated by Congress party not once but twice. So if the Congress thought that by taking on the Home Minister on the Ambedkar issue, they could score politically. The Prime Minister's intervention definitely tilts the scale in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party now.
Right, and Pallavi, where do you see the Congress really, going from here on? Considering you just spoken about how the TMC really stands when it is about this Ambedkar protest that the Congress is choosing to do. We'd already seen how Uddhav Thackeray had responded to, and not on similar lines when it was about Rahul Gandhi using the Savarkar name yet again. Is the Congress now also isolated within its own ranks?
Well, I mean, that pleases the BJP even more because the Congress party certainly looks to be more out and alone as far as this entire narrative goes. Now, if you just look at those pictures which we've put out since morning of the protests over the Ambedkar issue, the Congress, of course, had the Aam Aadmi Party by its side. It also had, for example, JMM by its side. But conspicuous by its absence was one of the largest regional parties or largest number of MPs is, of course, the Trinamool Congress. So clearly all is not well. When we did ask a TMC leader, they said we are with Ambedkar but we are not with the Congress party on this. In fact, even as we speak, a phone call has gone out to the Congress leadership saying that please, from the Congress leadership to the TMC saying that please come and be a part of the protest. They said this is deeply insulting how we are being dragged into an issue which you choose to pick up because it suits you and we don't want to be a party to it. But if we come back to the entire issue of the Ambedkar issue, why is it that the Congress party has picked up on these words of the Home Minister, and which is what the Prime Minister is calling a wrong narrative? It has picked up because in this they are sensing possibility of a revival which they saw during the Lok Sabha elections where Samvidhan Khatre Mein Hai clicked in their favor, but it did not work for them, for example, in Maharashtra, which is also considered to be the Karma Bhumi, Janm Bhumi in many ways for Bhimrao Ambedkar as well. That is where the BJP and the Mahayuti alliance were very successful in negating this perception which the Congress party had been able to build up. So each time the Congress attacks the BJP saying that they are undermining the legacy of Ambedkar, and the Home Minister did it even more so yesterday, very strong counters, and the biggest of them all really coming in from the Prime Minister where he's giving past instances, for example, emergency days. That's one of the darkest period of Indian history. If that was not a denial of the fundamental rights enshrined in the Indian constitution, and it has to be read as an insult to Ambedkar. And then as we were talking about, no Bharat Ratna to Ambedkar, statue not being allowed to put up. All of these are points which are used against the Congress. I don't know how long the other India bloc allies would want to be seen on the side of a Congress in a narrative which possibly can be ripped apart and pricked holes on.
Absolutely. And Aman, the Congress party, like Pallavi is rightly mentioning, they were trying to actually bank on this narrative after their Samvidhan Khatre Mein Hai really worked somewhat in their favor. The last elections, the last general elections, not so much in the assembly elections, especially in states like Haryana and Maharashtra. But with the Prime Minister, all right, we will come back to our colleagues in just a bit. We have a member of the Samajwadi Party with us to respond to this very tweet of the Prime Minister's that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just put out. Mr. Salath, how do you see this strong statement coming by way of the Prime Minister's?
No, I have not yet seen his tweet. I would like you to tell me.
Yeah, I would just, quote from that tweet, one excerpt. He goes on to say that if the Congress and its rotten ecosystem thinks that their malicious lies can hide their misdeeds of several years, especially their insult towards Dr. Ambedkar, they're gravely mistaken. Now, since the Samajwadi party is standing with the Congress party when it is this protest against what the Home Minister had said, and how the Congress is choosing to take that entire aspect from out of his statements, do you think the Prime Minister, by putting out this particular tweet, has really turned this around?
No, not at all. Actually, if you see the speech given by the Honorable Prime Minister in the Lok Sabha itself, it was just he was just talking and speaking about the opposition, the previous government that have how they have performed. He was just talking, hammering the Congress around. He had nothing to tell about what his actually achievements are. He cannot say why the dollar has gone up to 85 rupees and why the unemployment rate is 9.2%.
If we actually concentrate on what the Prime Minister has said and how Rahul Gandhi and in turn the Congress party chose to launch that offensive against the Home Minister, in turn against the NDA, it was primarily on Dr. Ambedkar's name. And you also have one of your key allies, like the Trinamool Congress, clearly absent from that protest of yours.
Yeah, you can say that the Trinamool Congress was not there in the Lok Sabha that time. But I think the Prime Minister should talk on the burning issues and the current issues of the that is related to the people of India, rather than talking about Ambedkar, Nehru, Gandhi, and going 800 or to 500 years back. That is not going to help the country at all. We have to make new policies, and we have to debate on in the Lok Sabha regarding the development and upliftment of the people, the downtrodden. That is the Bharatiya Janata.
Do stay on.